So, Python has one more logical operator. It's a really nice one that I wish existed in other programming languages, kind of as simply as it did, or as it does in Python. And that is the in operator. We've seen the in operator already, just in a different context. We saw it as part of a for loop for value in numLenders. But here we can look at it like this. So we can say print B in banana. Is the letter B in banana? True. Is C in banana? So here what we're doing is that we're checking to see if basically it's a substring, if it's a small part of a string, if this sequence over here is inside this sequence. So for instance, let's go ahead and take a look at NA. Is NA in banana? It is. What about nana? Is that in banana? It is. What about na? That is not in banana. Too many nas. Okay. Anana is in banana. If your parents walked in, they probably think your professor has gone bananas. But what we can see is that we're looking for something inside something else with the in operator, and it'll print true or false, depending on. It's a very useful tool. There are some kind of, but basically a string is, so there's just a couple edge cases we might want to take a look at here. So I'm going to grab them from your textbook, and let's take a look at them. A and A, apple and apple, blank and apple, in A, blank and apple. Let's see them. Now they're all true, right? This is in, A is inside of here, apple is inside of here, it's the entirety of it. The empty string, basically that space in between your characters, it's essentially what it is. It's the space that doesn't exist, is in this. And apple is in this. It's like asking if 0 can be added to something a bunch of times, and the answer is yes. Oh, and of course we can use the not operator as well. So print C not in banana. True. All right. We can also use this in lists, which is pretty cool. And I'll just actually grab this from the textbook. So over here, right, is A in this? Yes, it is. Is 9 in this sequence? Yes, it is. Is wow not in here? Gee whiz, gosh golly, wow, amazing. Well, it is in there, so not in would be false. So hence it is false over here. Also notice that if I put W, ooh, W is not in there. Let's go ahead and swap this to get the point across. It says W is false, but you might go, wait, there's a W in gee whiz, and there's a W in wow. Well, we're looking to see if the item is in the sequence here, in this list, right? It's a different context than doing it with the strings. So that's worthwhile to know. Right? So here, A is in the apple, absolutely an application, but we're getting false because, again, just what I said here, the list cares about what's, we care about it being in a list versus in a string. All right, so that's it for that part. So now we're going to have to look at a couple of things. Let me go ahead and just quickly actually jump into 8.5 just to mention this very quickly. Precedence of operations. So there is an order of operations, complete table found here, which is very explicit about how that works. but specifically this is the way it works. And notice that it's throwing out the parentheses are here, are not like noted here. Parentheses always use those. But anyway, exponents go first, then multiplication, addition, and so basically you do all your math stuff first before you start working on logic. So you do your math stuff, then you might do these things that evaluate to true or false. Then your nots go first, then your ands, then your ors. I wouldn't be able to remember that. So you know what I do, and know what pretty much every single other programmer does? That's right, they use parentheses. So when in doubt, when you're mixing ands, ors, and nots, use parentheses, because it's just not... Oh, it will just get a mess. And if you end up getting messes like this, for God's sake, break it up into multiple lines. That's just my pet peeve, right? This code over here, this stuff over here, had to be read. It got written once, but it got read by hundreds of students. Code is read more than it's written, always. Even if you're the only one reading it, you're going to read it multiple times. So make it easy on yourself. Write it simply so that the reading of it will be easier. That way it leads to less bugs, and less bugs means less pain.